Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Anisha, and this week I watched Sean Baker's favourite film. The Idiots is about a group of young people who have decided to get to know their inner idiots by breaking their outer and inner experiences, which means nothing on the surface, but this is the main way this film is summarised across the internet and further. The film is shot across a mix of home video and documentary styles, and it's actually about a group of friends who are breaking boundaries and revolting against the status quo by behaving like they are mentally disabled. They refer to this behaviour collectively as spazzing, and the film follows them going out into the world to indulge in this act, predominantly to make people uncomfortable with their disability. And for some context, this is the second film in the Dogma 95 trilogy. The goal of the Dogma Collective is to purify filmmaking by refusing special effects, post-production modifications, and other technical gimmicks. They followed a list of what are essentially commandments, such as shooting must be done on location, props and sets must not be brought in, the camera must be handheld, special lighting is unacceptable, optical work and filters are forbidden, and genre work is just not acceptable within this movement. The Idiots basically stands for a movement of handheld home footage as a sign of starter or amateur filmmaking. Lars von Trier, now a celebrated director, has always been fascinated with the bizarre and culturally taboo, and The Idiots is part of a larger gateway into his filmography that purposefully tries to instigate and provocate. It's the film that Sean Baker has now referred to as his favourite several times, and also the film that inspired him to make the film Take Out, a 2003 semi-documentary style digital-only film he co-directed with Shi Xing-Shu. Von Trier's legacy with Dogma and Baker's origins in digital has become more culturally relevant in the weeks after Baker's Oscar win, as he himself became the new age symbol of digital and budget cinema. Independent in origin, his rise to true fame is off the back of the success of his film Tragedy, shot on iPhone 4, the modern equivalent of the camcorder, and his history as the artist frontman in the mainstreaming of Letterboxd as a platform. He is to me who Von Trier is to him. However, I'm also reminded that the film that won him his Oscar whilst remaining close to his work in theme by following Honora, a stripper and sex worker in New York, as per the norm of his film, it's a much more polished and Hollywood-ready film than what gave him the edge 10 years ago, even if still independent at its Baker-led core, once again mirroring Von Trier's own legacy. Now, what did I think? Even though I've had Melancholia on my to-watch list for years, this is my first ever Von Trier film, and it's an absolute icy dunk into the waters of his work. It's a vulgar, sad and crass film that has a fascination with narrowing in on the uncomfortable, and from what I'd seen about this film before I watched it, I was not confident in it being good. Mark Kermode apparently left the Cannes screening after saying that it was shit in French, and it's commonly seen as overly controversial and taking taboo too far. But the film doesn't have a fully sympathetic worldview of its main character. The film approaches this novel concept of making people uncomfortable due to disability and examines it. I think watching this at a moment in time where saying the R-slur is increasingly seen as not a big deal, this film serves as a reminder that yes, it is indeed a slur used against a group of oppressed peoples. People with mental disabilities do make society more broadly feel uncomfortable. Their inability to understand and assimilate to general social cues makes people feel that their own reality has been encroached upon. There is an unwritten social code about how we speak, who we speak to, how close we get to people, and how and where we speak to people, all of which is unwittingly broken by someone with a mental disability. The film examines this by testing whether these characters who pretend not to care about societal pressure and expectations will keep up their beliefs and act if there are stakes. Will they keep acting disabled if their job is at stake? Will they do it if they have to move out and pay rent instead of mooching off their rich uncle? Do these characters want to stand up for something and prove a point about the mistreatment of disabled people, or do they want to be offensive? Is there something fun in doing the shocking, more attention-grabbing thing? The documentary-style footage inserted in between the home footage of them spazzing serves to show us what they're really after. Why do they do certain things? What brought these people together? And what persuades people to act so cruelly? And spoiler, it's a sense of community. These people like being away from their real lives without responsibility and judgment, and instead they get to be together every moment with people that indulge in fun. A feeling of closeness and exhilarating new behaviour comes about without having to try it out alone. It's the same reason most conservatives join movements. The thrill of the absurdity of being able to be cruel in a crowd. It all seems permissible now because everyone agrees, everyone believes in one thing, and they believe in it together. Because of the film's style, these characters feel like realistic alternative people. Filmed in regular houses, restaurants and leisure centres, they are fully realised people who have decided to rebel. The rich and the bourgeois are critiqued and bashed. Yet by showing their bohemian lifestyle with beds messily strewn across a large mansion, they are immediately ridiculed and highlighted in this film as people who want to stand out and do something different just for the sake of it, not because they stand for anything. They too live in this world with wool drawn over bourgeois eyes, which is why the non-diegetic music choices pump a sense of adrenaline into this film. The idiots and their absurdity is heightened by fast dramatic music that clashes with the straightforward footage, And then the double entendre of the film reveals itself. They believe that harnessing their inner idiot manifests as a mental disability, but their misunderstanding of their real life beliefs, their sensibilities, and their lifestyle flips the script onto them. Their true being, in and of itself, is an idiot. Like, what do I think about all this? The film plods and drags its feet. It wants to shock and disturb you, especially with the body as its featured tool. The acting mixed with the realistic digital recording is a brilliant way to make the vulgarity of the film feel real and repulsive. I think sex and nakedness juxtaposes mundanity to create a film that swaps from wanting to shock you to being genuinely unnerving. It also veers quite sharply into sadness. These characters are deeply affected by the world around them. Whilst we never delve into any of their real inner lives, most of them exist in a space of spazzing and cruelty to hide from a world that is being cruel to them in other ways. I enjoyed what this film had to say. It's an interesting feat of filmmaking and a film that truly utilizes its form as a film. Great personality through home footage and intimacy through amateurship. But it's harsh and offensive in a way that makes many scenes unwatchable and frankly quite boring after a while when you hammer the point home without doing too much else. And that's all I have to say. Go and watch The Idiots or don't. Your future with this film is up to you. As always, thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're really about it, and hope you have a great day. See you next time.